Hey, so I wanted to come on today and make a video because over the last couple of days, my skin really has not been great. I've been breaking out loads around kind of my jawline. They're very deep, painful ones, and it's not very often that I get a breakout like this anymore. I think it's really easy in these situations to just go and throw a ton of products at your skin, hoping that it's going to help clear your acne up or changing up your routine. But in my experience, that very rarely works. So I thought I would take you with me today and just show you what I'm going to do to help promote healing my skin. This was over the weekend when my skin was at its worst, but the last couple of days, because I've been doing exactly what I'm about to show you, things have really started to calm down. But I just wanted to show you that it's really important to take some time for yourself, to really kind of practice some self-care, because I know firsthand how much it can really mentally affect you when you do break out, especially if you've been through this so many times before. So the first thing that I do, which is something I do every single day, my routine really doesn't change, is I go and apply my skincare. And I do start obviously with moisturizer. I don't cleanse my face in the morning. And even when I'm breaking out, I don't try to either. But something that I do, especially if I'm breaking out, I want to make myself feel better, is I put on my favorite podcast or playlist, have a bit of a dance around and sing, just put myself in a good frame of mind so that when I'm doing my skincare, I'm not really concentrating on the areas that I'm breaking out. I'm just focusing on starting my day well and feeling good. On these days especially, I always avoid spending too much time in front of the mirror and giving my skin too much attention. Something that I do like to do on days like this is actually sometimes apply some makeup. Now, I don't really apply foundation or concealer on a day-to-day basis, so I wouldn't tend to do this on a day when I'm breaking out either. I feel like I just want to let my skin do its thing, but I will always apply mascara because I think that just kind of helps brighten me up. When I do catch myself in the mirror, it is kind of a distraction, so I'm not looking directly at my acne all the time. And I do really think this helps with the healing process. I think, out of sight, out of mind is kind of true to some extent. Another thing that really helps me by kind of covering up my acne and also helping it heal is these little pimple patches. I've got a few different brands here, but the killer patches are my favourite. I've liked these for a really long time because they've got these little grips, these micro darts, which help you actually penetrate active ingredients into the skin. I believe I still have a discount code, which I'll put in the description box, but if that doesn't work, then definitely just hashtag ZitSticker because lots of people have discount codes for these. I personally think self-care is even more important on days like this because I do think it really helps promote healing. I think if I'm calm and relaxed and not kind of stressing about my skin all the time, it definitely has an impact. One of the things I insist on doing is spending most of my time in really comfy clothes like this tracksuit. I mean, to be honest, despite the day, I'm usually in a tracksuit because I work from home and that is life now. But I do think it's really important to make yourself feel good, potentially not putting on your complete, really kind of rough, comfy clothes, if you know what I mean, like the ones that are like those old t-shirts that you've had for like 10 years. But instead put on something like a cute little cord that you know is comfy, favourite slippers, and yeah, just make yourself feel good. I don't know about you, but sometimes these kind of days are even more hard because the voice inside your head, like that self-deprecating voice, which tells you you're not good enough or that you're ugly because you're breaking out, is kind of harder to kind of push to one side. So that's why I think you should concentrate on all the really nice self-care rituals that you have, whatever they might be. For me, it is like having nice relaxing baths, it's going for walks, it's eating my favorite food, being in my comfortable clothes, like I said, like those sort of things make me feel better. So whatever that might be for you, please do it. And please repeat after me, my skin does not determine my worth. Another approach I have towards healing my skin does involve diet. For me, I have found that when I'm eating lots of really high sugary, high GI foods, it can actually make the breakout worse. I find that my oil production increases, particularly around ovulation, which is definitely where I am in this point of my cycle, so it's not really a surprise my skin's breaking out. So I like to focus on really nutrient dense foods, like lots of healthy fats, lots of protein. I try and avoid things that, really do break down into sugar in my blood very, very quickly. So maybe like lots of fruit probably wouldn't be something I'd go for at this time either. But this is just what works for me. I am not advocating for any kind of diet. I just find what works best for my skin is managing my blood sugar levels. I do believe that they have a massive impact on my skin. I do believe a lot of the reason I've broken out this week is from changing my diet. I've been kind of playing around with my morning breakfast, and I definitely think the blood sugar spikes have had something to do with this because I felt very kind of I guess, weak and sleepy and lacking in energy towards the end of the day. So I just don't think I've set my day up right with the breakfast I've been having. So this week in particular, I'm going to experiment a bit more, find what works for me. I just need to remember that, you know, we're all different. So what works for me might not work for you. And I mean that in terms of diet, skincare, basically anything really. Something I definitely make a habit of drinking more of is the 3-mint pucker tea, which has spearmint in there, which is really great for lowering androgens, which are the male hormones that can contribute to acne. So yeah, I drink lots of this and it tastes amazing. I also wanted to mention with the spearmint tea, there have actually been studies done on this. I'm not just making it up. And I have seen the effect on my own skin and how well it works if I drink it consistently. So yes, it is just tea, and that alone is not going to clear your skin, unfortunately, but it definitely helps. Something that I've been loving as a super helpful tool for my gut health has also really had a good effect on my skin, I believe, or at least my mental health. And that is actually taking some time to meditate or do a guided relaxation as I do. I'm actually using an app called Nerva at the moment, which has like a guided hypnosis relaxation. It takes like about 15-20 minutes each day. I usually do it before lunch. And this really helps to relax me before I eat and helps me to digest my food better. But I would really recommend, if you're also having a bit of a moment with your skin at the moment, perhaps your gut health too, to do this. It doesn't need to be through the Nerva app, but just taking 15 minutes before you eat, in my case lunch, it could be any time of day really. It will really help you to reflect, to calm your nervous system, to make sure your cortisol isn't completely out of whack, because all of those things can definitely contribute to your hormones being out of balance and not feeling great, and of course acne. I also think it's a really good idea to reflect on things that may have changed for you in the last week or so, or in the build up to you breaking out. I have actually just sat down to go through my Skin Story journal where I track my skin. I've also got myself a nice blanket, so I'm very comfortable and ready to do basically my monthly check-in. Usually I do this on the very last day of the month, and we are a few days away. So I thought I would just kind of go through some of the patterns that I've been seeing. I've honestly found this such a helpful tool because I, for one, am somebody that will sit there and second guess everything that I'm doing for my skin all the time. So unless I actually track it and write it down, I really can't tell, you know, what skincare is working for me, what diet is working for me. I don't really have a very kind of subjective overview of things. So that is definitely what the Skin Story journal allows you to do. So you track, you know, when you're breaking out, how you're feeling that day, anything that's been going on in terms of like sickness, if you've exercised, where you are in your cycle, like it's all logged in there. So you can really build up patterns. Like that is how I know around ovulation, I'm far more likely to break out, especially if I'm eating like high sugary foods, I'm really stressed. Or if I'm changing anything up, like my skin likes consistency. I also want to add that the aim of journaling and tracking your skin is not to be constantly in control of it, because your health, your skin, everything is not in your hands at all times. Yes, we can influence it, but honestly, like we shouldn't be in the mindset that we have to control everything. But what it does allow us to do is to get to know our skin. So I feel like I have a really good understanding now of why I break out when I do. I am always learning things, but it does allow me to really trust my skin to heal. And that is so comforting when you're going through days like this where you are breaking out more than usual and you are wondering why. It kind of gives you a chance to reflect, realize that there might be some things that you need to tweak. In my case, perhaps it is things like my diet, making sure I'm eating more, that I'm eating a wider variety of food, that I'm checking in on my mental health, my gut health, and really just taking care of ourselves. So it's been such a useful tool for me. And I honestly believe if you're somebody like me with my kind of similar traits in terms of, you know, wanting to know what's going on, wanting to get to the, I guess like the root cause or the bottom of your acne, this could be a really good tool to help you do that. As we're speaking, I can feel another one kind of surfacing, which is really fun. Please remember that acne is temporary. This is not who you are and does not define you. So I am off to take my own advice and take it very easy for the next day or so. Really take good care of myself. I really hope you do too. If you're now keen to find out some of my acne triggers and see how I track my skin to discover these, then I'm going to put a box up on screen now. So definitely click that, check it out, and I will see you over there. Thanks guys.